The Phoenician Resort in Scottsdale.
And despite not having a lot of pictures, this has been a great day.
It's been an awesome day. I mean, some of the breakout sessions, I mean, we saw retired Lieutenant Colonel Consuelo Cookbush. What an inspiring story that was.
Yes.
I bought her book, so I'm going to read that. So just unbelievable lady.
And the message, they say you...
Erica's going to come over here now.
Mark is what you're supposed to say.
Jade, Erica, get over here.
You're hollering for the wrong person. You're saying you, Tom. You should be saying you, Mark.
He's mad at all the fan mail I get. He's mad at all the fan mail I get. Wait.
Tom gets all the fans. Mark doesn't get any of the fans. I'm just saying.
Yay!
What I liked about her message, there was a lot of things, but I liked the message that you get what you work for in life. She said that her dad refused to take any handouts, even though they were living in a boxcar, for crying out loud. And he just believed you work hard, and now look what his children are turning out to be incredible citizens.
And now she's mentoring young kids to keep sticking with high school and get through college, and it's just very inspiring.
Yes. So now we have a wonderful guest, Dennis. Oh, I forgot your
Brookshire.
Brookshire. Wonderful English name there, I think, right?
Very true, yeah.
Very good, very good. Windsor, see.
There you go.
We got those English names down. And you just were telling me, just before you came on, you were telling me you moved your office. You're now in the northeast Scottsdale area.
Correct. We're up in the Promenade complex up there at Scottsdale Road and Frank Lloyd Wright.
Now tell us about your firm. What do you focus on?
Well, the firm is Simpson, Goldstein, and Pentiliac, and we're a full-service civil practice law firm. So we specialize in all aspects of legal services. It's easier to define what we don't do. We don't do criminal work, and we don't do workers' compensation work.
Or patent, probably.
We have some patent work.
Really? So we also, as a firm, do a lot, but that's one area that we won't touch with a 10-foot pole because it's so specialized.
Well, it is. We do a limited amount of private securities work, too, which a lot of firms don't do.
Yes, because your malpractice insurance goes through the roof is why we don't do those anymore. Because I used to do that as well.
It becomes very expensive. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You mark that little box and you just count on a little
doubles.
increase in your malpractice insurance. How many attorneys?
We have 15.
And you just moved? Now, you guys, the world can't appreciate how hard that is.
Well, actually, our move was probably easier than most businesses would contemplate. Our law firm is one of the first paperless law firms in the Phoenix metro area, and as a result, we didn't have to move files and files and files.
That helps.
It took 4 hours to move our file server, which in essence moved all of our hundreds of thousands of files.
But you know what I remember, because I moved a firm with about 10 attorneys. So not 15, but 10. And about half our practice was digital. The half of the attorneys I could convince, and the other half were the old schools. So that did complicate things, I'm telling you. That it was harder to move that half by far. But just moving, I mean, just disrupting in fact, I remember the day we moved, they literally picked up my computer stuff, moved my desk, put a folding table under so that I could continue to just keep moving along. Because emails come in so rapidly, and phone calls from opposing counsel, and it's like it's hard to take a deep breath and take the time to move properly. I've just experienced it. It was not an easy deal.
Well, the move was incredibly easy. We did it between Christmas and New Year's.
Oh.
And
see, timing's everything.
Nobody sues anybody during Christmas time. Come on now. So that's the easiest time of year, right?
It is a charitable time of the
year. There you go. Everybody's forgiving everybody.
It does tend to quiet down a little bit, so that was when we moved the firm.
Well, we didn't get to plan ahead as much. We were in the McDonald building in downtown Mesa, and it went into receivership, which triggered a provision in our lease allowing us to negotiate lower or move out, and they went negotiating. So
we're out of here. Yeah.
Well, and I literally had about less than 30 days, according to lease,
to terminate and move.
To terminate and move, and so I was under the gun. And so we actually did a double little move. We had to do a little hop-skip type thing, little temporary executive things as we found our permanent. So it was a tough move,
Well, ours is probably one of the easiest that anybody will ever experience. The space we were moving into was basically turnkey, ready to go.
You didn't have to even move your furniture?
No, we did not have to move
Holy
furniture.
criminy. I'm jealous.
How rare is that?
So we sold our existing office furniture, moved right in, very little TI to be done.
Was it another law firm? Is that why it was so easy?
Former law firm
yeah.
office.
Very
So you got the
wise.
nice desks and nice big chairs and all that kind of stuff. Good for you.
Yeah.
Now back to the conference. I see you've got that yellow or green. I'm colorblind there. The green tag that says you're a
Right.
speaker.
I'm a
Tell us a little bit
panelist
about what
this
you're doing here.
afternoon.
Yeah.
Well, I was invited to speak as a panelist this afternoon. We're going. I'm on the panel for the short sale program, and talking with Vanessa, I'd shared with her the fact that I've taught with guaranteed title various short sale strategic default classes, and so she invited me to be a panelist this afternoon and talk about that subject. And then she's invited me to also be a presenter at their conference next month.
Outstanding.
Oh, wow.
Good.
Good for you.
And your practice focuses on what areas? Now, clearly short sell.
Well, I specialize in real estate, business, commercial, and tax work, and so in this environment, a lot of that revolves around real property circumstances.
Yeah.
Workouts in the old days we used to call them, now short sales if they're residential, but there's still lots of workouts in commercial property too.
Yes, we've done some commercial. That's not our focus, but we've done some commercial
Right.
as well. When you're doing the helping the higher end clients, how much do you have a bankruptcy attorney at your firm, or how much bankruptcy coordination do you do?
We do have an attorney on staff that does
Good.
debtor work. I do creditor bankruptcy work. I've represented.
Oh, see, that's even, and I can tell the listeners, that's actually the better side to have as a combination, because if you understand the creditor side, it's a lot easier to protect your debtor client, isn't it?
Absolutely. You have to know what the lenders are going to be doing in order to advise.
Tactic wise is what I'm
Right.
saying.
You have to
I
be
mean,
able-
anybody can look at the law, but you got to look into their
You have to
minds.
understand what they're going to be doing, and by having represented different financial institutions over the last 30 years, you can anticipate and know likely what they will do in each particular circumstance, which helps you advise your client if you're representing the borrower, whether it's individual or a bigger commercial transaction.
Yeah, that sets your firm apart from many of the others. There's so many firms that their family law practice dried up, or their whatever they were doing started drying up because of the recession we were going through. So they jumped into either short sales or bankruptcy or something. But they just took one path,
Right.
And they have shallow experience in that path, right?
Exactly.
And no experience in the other side, the let's walk away bankruptcy side, and it hurts the clients in my mind if somebody doesn't get, like your firm has taken, a holistic approach.
Well, they don't get all of the advice or complete analysis, especially
They just can't, can they?
Especially if they are dealing with someone that is now just jumping into it because it's the thing to be doing.
Yeah, but there were a lot that did that over the past 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of attorneys.
And I have lots of clients come in that have been referred to me by other real estate professionals when the advice they were given by somebody else
Yeah.
wasn't very beneficial, and they are coming to me then to fix the bad advice and hopefully rectify what can be a catastrophic situation, especially for individuals.
Yeah, in fact, there was one attorney that had worked for me out of law school, and then their first 6, 7, 8 months, something like that, and they went out to do their little area of law that they wanted to do, which was estate planning, is what they were trying, but trying to do that in 2007, 2008, they just couldn't build it. So he just switched over, hung his shingle, and started doing internet type marketing and getting clients in. And I just rolled my eyes and I think, man, those poor clients, how can they possibly get the type of advice they need? But
Well, there's no substitute for experience, in my opinion, in the legal industry, and each discipline takes depth and not necessarily a smattering approach to it. That's why we have 15 attorneys that are specialists in different practice areas, and then of course we have overlap because you want not only ability and expertise but a little bit of depth as far as bench depth, so that if you're on vacation, the client still gets someone that knows real estate law as opposed to someone that's just pitch hitting.
Absolutely. So this event on the panel, do you have any idea which direction it's going, or is it just going to be a question and answer type?
Yeah, predominantly a Q&A, as I understand it. Certainly, if the moderator doesn't drive too much, as I said, I've been teaching short sale classes for now since pretty much the short sales started. So whatever that was, about
2000. I remember that was
5 years ago or so.
Yeah, about 5 years ago. Yeah, in fact, we started out. I don't know if you remember the forbearance days. That's how we started, with the forbearances, right?
Right.
Remember those days. And then we just gradually went over to loan mods that didn't work with squat. And,
Right.
And then watched it. Did you ever get involved? We were doing in the beginning those RESPA and TILA violation suits. Did you hop into any of those in the beginning?
We didn't do very many of those at all. Now we did defense on deficiency collection issues and whatnot, but we didn't do too many truth in lending issues.
Count your stars. I tell you, they were not fun to fight in the beginning, and finally I said, no, that's not an area I want to be in, because they weren't fun. The judges weren't even staying on our side, even though the law was on our side. So we moved away.
Well, a little. You don't generally get a sympathetic position in that regard.
No, you don't. Not on the federal bench.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Who knows what the Superior Court would have done, but on the federal, we just did not get
a listening ear. And it varies from state to state, too. Some states are materially more activist, if you will. As an example, the Oregon Supreme Court's just issued a dramatic case on the N.A.H.R.E.P issues. Obviously, moving for the benefit of the consumers.
Oh, it did move towards the consumers.
Huge. It's generating all kinds of conversation within the real estate legal community up there.
When did this come out?
It just came out last week.
Last week. I have not even seen it yet.
A very interesting case. And
was it which court, which level of court decided it?
The Oregon Court of Appeals.
Okay.
And Oregon only has one Court of Appeals, unlike Arizona that has 2 divisions.
Oh, I see.
And most real estate decisions end at the Court of Appeals in Oregon. They rarely do they go on to the Supreme Court. So
does it look like Arizona will start following that? It's too early to tell, probably.
It's too early to tell. Arizona has a lot of case law out there at the federal level going kind of the other way on the segregation of the note and deed of trust issue. Oregon goes the other way and says you got to have both in order to be able to foreclose. And this recent decision, if it's a MERS deed of trust, and many are, it basically holds that unless the lender can actually prove all of the recorded assignments via the original beneficiary all the way through the current beneficiary, that if it's a MERS deed of trust, it cannot be non-judicially foreclosed.
Interesting.
So it's basically terminated non-judicial foreclosure of MERS deeds of trust up in the state of Oregon now.
All right, very interesting. Well, I look forward to your. Actually, I'm not sure they'll let me in there because I'm going to be stuck to this microphone. So I'll miss your panel discussion.
Well, if you want to go, you can go. I'll have Joe and I can sit in.
All right.
We can rock and roll.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Thank you for having me as a guest.
My pleasure. In case anyone wants to contact your firm, why don't you give out your information?
Well, my name's Dennis Brookshire, and the easiest way to get a hold of me is just by calling the firm. The office number is 480-991-9077. And if you want to reach me by email, it's dbrookshire@legalcounselors.com.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Again, it's Mark Windsor, Tom Diller, broadcasting live from the Phoenician for the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals.
Dennis, good seeing you. Thank you. Good luck on your panel.